Secretary Esper today held a news conference, said he didn't agree with the idea of sending U.S. military troops into American cities, an idea that seems to be at odds with President Trump's approach on that. Do you have any concerns that his job could be in trouble for taking a position like that?
I don't think anybody wants to send in the military, and I sure hope it doesn't come to that. I want to believe it won't come to that. I have a lot of confidence in our National Guard, and I have a lot of confidence in our various police forces. But this is just intolerable. I mean, to me, the facts are, and I understand we all see the world from our own bell tower, but to me, the facts of this are so clear. Officer Chauvin murdered Mr. Floyd. The cops who watched him are culpable. Hating cops just because they're cops is as bad as racial profiling. Lawful protests are as American as baseball. But there's a difference between a lawful protest and felony rioting. And you know, as I said earlier today, if you can't tell the difference, you tested positive for stupid. And we can't tolerate the rioting. I mean, protesters are getting hurt. Lawful protesters are getting hurt. Cops are getting hurt. Businesses are getting hurt. And it's got to stop. And we've got to use all means to stop it.
Do you think there's any room or appetite for any sort of reforms, national reforms for police departments to try to get at the problem that led to George Floyd's death?
Sure, I mean, I think we need more discussion about this, rational discussion. It's hard to do in a political, middle of a political campaign, but certainly I think we ought to talk about it more. I want us to be careful. We're not law enforcement experts, but we can call in those who are. You know, I certainly don't endorse what Vice President Biden said, that we ought to train our police officers to shoot people in the leg when the police officers feel threatened. I mean, that's something right out of the movies. That's not real life. Next thing you know, somebody will suggest, well, just shoot the weapon out of their hand. That only happens in the movies. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you want to be real careful with.
Is there anything in particular that you kind of say, well, here's one obvious thing that
No, we haven't had time to do that because everybody, at least what I've been focused on, is how do we stop the violence toward the innocent? And by the innocent, I mean the lawful protesters, the business people, many of whom are seeing their life's work burned down, the police officers who are put at risk, and it's got to stop. And it's just got to stop. And I listened to Mayor de Blasio say, well, we don't need any help here in New York. Have you seen Fifth Avenue? My gosh, he needs to listen to his governor. You know, he is in control of this. And I mean, you know, if he doesn't need the National Guard, he needs something. Anyway.
Senator, on the issue